Today we're gonna make roast chicken with vermouth, roasted potatoes and carrots. That's gonna be over labneh with fresh chives, and then blanched and broiled broccolini with lemon zest. So we're gonna start first with prepping our chicken. Okay, for our chicken, you can use any oven-safe pan. We're just gonna make this really simple. This is a chicken recipe I make over and over again for my family. You can change up the variation. You don't have to add a vermouth to it if you don't want to, or if you want to add a sherry or butter. You could add orange and saffron, whatever you want. This is kind of the base for your like everyday roast chicken. So we're gonna take bone and skin thighs and just place them in our pan. And kind of keep them a little bit separated from each other. I'm gonna add this thyme that was on them just in our pan as well. And then over here, I'm gonna take our lemon and just cut thin slices. I'm not gonna put them on top of our chicken because we want the top of the skin to really crisp up. We don't want the lemon to block that. So I'm gonna stick the lemon in our pan. So just all around it. And honestly, this chicken is so easy to prep. It's kind of the perfect meal to make like once you get home and you have to focus on your kids and a few other things. The prep time is so quick, and then the cook time is about 45 minutes. So it's a great meal to do for your family. Okay, we're gonna take our vermouth and just put it again into the bottom of the pan. This vermouth is very floral in fragrance, so it just adds a nice flavor component to our chicken. You're not gonna need a lot. I probably used about 1/4 cup in here. And then I'll add our olive oil to the top of our chicken skin. And I'm actually gonna remove that one little piece of thyme because I don't want it to burn. And then just salt on top. And a bit of fresh pepper. And that's literally it. It is so simple. My kids love this meal. I love this meal. It's a great way to host when you have a bunch of people coming over. You can get big cookie sheets and do a bunch of chicken at once. So it's a simple meal to make and not feel too overwhelmed when you're hosting others. So now I'm just gonna pop it in the oven. And my oven is set to 415 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm just gonna stick it in the middle rack. Okay. Okay, for the next part of this meal, we are gonna grab some carrots, and you can leave the green on it. You don't have to chop it off. If you want to, you can. I think it kind of looks pretty because it'll get a little bit charred in the oven. So we're just gonna peel these and then stick it on our cookie tray. Okay, and then once we're done peeling our carrots and placing them on the tray, we're just gonna add our potatoes. They're just small yellow Yukon potatoes. And we're just gonna roast them right next to our carrots. They're small, so they'll roast pretty quickly, which is what we want. So I'm just gonna take our potatoes and just place them right next to the carrots. And then we're just gonna add olive oil to the top of these guys and to our carrots. For the potatoes, we'll just use our hands. This one actually looks pretty bad. I'm gonna take it out. And just get them well coated. And so with the carrots. Try to like. Okay, and then we're just gonna add a little bit of salt to our potatoes and our carrots. I'm gonna add a little bit of honey to our carrot side. Just drizzling it over. You don't need a lot, just a tiny bit. And then that's really it. So we're gonna put this in the oven with the chicken and let this cook again at 415 degrees and probably for about a half an hour. So we're gonna get our broccolini ready, and all we're gonna do is take a bunch and just chop off the thicker ends. They can be a little bit woodier, and you can even just split them if you want. So if it's thick, you can just cut them, make it a slightly thinner, and then we're gonna blanch it. We're getting our water, we want it to be at a nice boil, and we're gonna put our broccolini in, and it will really change the color from this dull green to a vibrant, bright green, and we'll pull them out, and then we're gonna finish them off in the oven on the broil. Okay, now that our water is at a boil, we're going to blanch our broccolini. This is gonna be quick. So the water is boiling, there's salt in there. We're gonna put our broccolini in the hot water, and you'll see it change to a vibrant green color. And that's really it. So it's just a few seconds. We just wanna get that really beautiful green and just partially cooked. Now we're gonna stick it on a cookie tray. And then we will broil it. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to separate out our broccolini so it's not all on top of each other. If you are doing this for a lot of people, it's okay. It just means the bottom parts won't get broiled and get that nice charred look. So, but since I'm doing this just for a couple of people, I can really spread it out and take advantage of that, the space I have. And so now that it's all spread out, I'm just gonna add a little bit of olive oil, and now I'm gonna add a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. And that's it. Once my oven is ready to broil, it's really important that you stay there and keep an eye on it, because it will go pretty fast and you will end up with very burnt broccolini if you're not watching it. Okay, so we're gonna take our broccolini and put it on. I moved the rack to the tallest part just so that my broccolini is really right under the broiler. And I'm gonna keep my oven partially open to keep an eye on it. And yeah, it will just be a few minutes. Now we're gonna assemble our side dish that's gonna go with our roasted chicken. So we're gonna take our labneh and put it on our platter first. And you're just gonna spoon it around. So this will be the base. If you don't like labnehs, you could use a thick Greek yogurt, you could use a sour cream, and then we're just gonna plate our potatoes, and we're gonna put it on top of our labneh. Okay. And then we're gonna take our carrots and put them next to our potatoes, and that's okay if they're a little bit burnt. Just stick what we can do right here. And then lastly, we'll add our broccolini to the side as well. Okay, and then we have chopped chives. I'm just gonna put on top of our potatoes on this side. And then on our broccolini side, we're gonna zest a little bit of lemon on top of our broccolini. And that's it. So this is our side that's gonna go with our chicken. Okay, so our chicken is now out, our sides have been roasted and done, and then we have our just simple salad. You can see our chicken is really golden and very crisp. This is why I don't put lemons or things on top of the chicken, so I can really get that nice crispy skin on the outside. And then everything else is kind of caramelized inside of the pan. This is a great midweek meal to make for your family. And normally when I'm making something like this, I would include a sourdough bread that I got from my local bakery. Just my boys are big, and I think the vegetables we have here are pretty filling, but growing boys need a bit more. So I would add probably sourdough bread or whatever other side that you would prefer for your family.